There we go, and we're recording. So hi guys,
Perfect.
welcome to our stretch and reset for the evening. We have got the lovely Claire here today, and she is going to be running your session. So I'm going to hand over to her and leave it all with her. But this little guy just wanted to say hello to you all first. So apologies if he starts moving around everywhere. But yes, thank you so much, Claire, for coming in today, and over to you.
Oh, thank you, Lily. Lovely to see you all this evening. Hope you've had a wonderful weekend. As Lily mentioned, I've popped the playlist in the chat. Feel free to use that or anything else you want to listen along to. If you feel like any of the poses don't feel right in the body for you this evening, feel free to just miss it out completely or practice a variation that works well for you. My voice is just a guide, and I'm going to take you through some nice deep hip opening hamstring stretches to wind down for the week after your training. So feel free to press play now on the first track, and we'll get going. So if everyone would like to come to their mats, if you get the pillows, and we're going to place the pillows just behind the back of the spine, and simply just roll all the way back so your head is reaching the mat. And then if you want to take your soles of the feet to the mat and then lift the hips slightly, you'll feel that the cushions should just be underneath the tailbone. So you're just elevating your hips. And then when you've got that position with the cushions, just stretch out those legs and let those legs just rest in a long line. And then placing your hands just by the side of the body. And start to breathe deep into the belly. Letting the palms face up towards the ceiling. And just start to notice the breath. And as you're breathing into the body, just start to feel the belly rising on the inhale. And on the exhale, just notice the shoulders softening and falling deeper into the mat. So feeling really heavy. The ground is supporting you. Just letting the body just settle, be still. And if the mind starts to wander off, gently bring the attention again back to the breath. Notice the coolness of the breath on the inhale. And on the exhale, feeling it is a little bit warmer through the nose. And softening those cheeks, letting go of any tension in the jaw. And just allowing your body to rest and reset and relax in this pose. So in this position with our hips elevated slightly, this is starting to gently bring a little bit more opening to any tension that's situated around this area. And by staying in this pose for around about 2 minutes, this will start to give a signal to the body that it's okay to relax. And if it feels right for you, you can welcome to set an intention for this evening's practice. Maybe you want to give gratitude to your body for all the amazing things it's done this week for you. And just being very present and still within this moment. Taking a nice deep in-breath into the belly. And as you exhale, open the mouth and let everything out. Gently, we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Welcome to keep the eyes closed, or you can gently blink them open. And we're just going to bring the knees in towards the chest, and you'll notice that the knees are falling in a little bit deeper because you've got that elevation underneath the hips. So just be gentle, you don't do a backwards roll. And just hug the knees in. Lovely. And on the exhale, placing your hands on top of your knees and push away the knees all the way so the feet come back onto the mat. Gently lift the hips and slide those cushions out from underneath and just place them to one side. Again, bringing the knees in on the inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to rock up to seated. You can take a few rocks on the spine, maybe one or two, until you reach the seated position. And we're just going to cross the legs and come into a seated position, and we'll just take a couple of twists over towards each side. So inhale, bring the hands all the way up. Sit nice and tall. Exhale over towards the right side of the room. So left hand comes on right knee, right hand comes behind. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, twist. Lovely. Inhale, sit through, come through to center, reach the hands all the way up. And exhale, twisting over towards the opposite side. Right hand comes on left knee, left hand comes behind. Sit nice and tall on the inhale. And on the exhale, just take a small twist. And remembering to connect to the breath, keeping that nice deep inhalation and exhalation throughout the movements this evening. Coming back through to center, reach up. And exhale, hands come down by the side. We're going to come onto our all fours. Placing the knees hip width apart, wrists, hands underneath the shoulders. Drop the belly, lift the chest, arch the back. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin in and push away from the floor. Create some space through the shoulders. Going to practice this cat-cow a few times just to warm up that spine. Inhale, send the chest forwards, look forward. Exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone in. And really noticing that space between the shoulders. Really want to push through the fingertips to try and get a deep stretch through the back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, neutral spine. This time we're going to bring the hands all the way to the top of the mat. And exhale, just lower the chest onto the mat there to keep the hips high, and you'll feel that opening up through the chest area underneath the arms. Nice. Just taking a nice deep inhale here. Exhale. Inhale to lift up slightly. Exhale, sink down again. Inhale, this time bring the belly forwards and roll onto the belly, onto the mat, coming onto the forearms. You're coming into a very low Sphinx pose. Taking the hands by the side of the chest, lifting up slightly, coming into your cobra. We're going to tuck the toes and the hips all the way back towards the heels. And then inhale, send those hips all the way up towards the sky. So you may be feeling a little bit tight in the hamstrings here. If that's feeling like that for you, then gently bend the knees and just keep a really soft bend in the knees as you step the heels and step the feet out left and right. Just start to bring a bit of awareness to the backs of the legs. And the aim here is to keep that spine nice and long. So feel free to keep that bend in the knees if that feels good for you, to keep the spine nice and straight. So just a couple more pedals out here, left and right. You can pause on one side if you feel it needs a little bit longer. And doing the same on the left or the right. Looking up towards the top of the mat, we're going to take some small tiptoes all the way to the top. Keep that soft bend in the knees, dropping the head, taking hold of the elbows, and we're just going to rock from side to side. Give the head a little shake out. Nice. And then gently drop the fingertips towards the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up towards standing. Reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingertips. Bring the feet together slightly so the big toes are touching. We're going to lift through the chest. Shine the chest up towards the ceiling and lift the hands away from the bum. And exhale, forward fold. So this stretch here is really good if you've been doing lots of running this week. You're targeting the backs of the hamstrings, you're opening up the chest, which can get really tight from that repetitive movement. So just staying here just for a couple of breaths. And gently bring the fingertips all the way down to the mat. Inhale to look up, bring the heart forward, chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Step the left foot back. And then inhale, lifting the hands all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come all the way down to the mat. You can be on the backs of the toes here, so just on the tips of the toes on the back leg. And then we're just going to straighten the right foot on the inhale, and on the exhale, bending that knee, arch the back. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten that right leg, curling around the spine and just keeping that right leg nice and straight. Inhale, chest comes forward, bending the right knee. Exhale, straightening the right leg. So just doing this a couple of times. This is called your runner's lunge. So we're just going to round through the back. If you can't keep that right leg straight, and if it's feeling like it's too heavy, if you've got lots of tightness there, just take it slowly. You can always keep that bend in the leg. Inhale, chest comes forward. Exhale, straighten that right leg if you can, and keep the left heel grounded in towards the mat. Lift the chest, taking the hands and placing the hands just gently onto the right shin. And exhale, fold over that right leg. And just pausing here for one moment, taking it nice and slow, nice and deep into the right hamstring. And then gently bending that right leg. Moving the left toes all the way back to the end of the mat. We're in our low lunge. Taking their hands on the inside edge of the right foot And then we're going to turn over to our right side. So our right toes are in towards the mat and our left heel is pointing up. And you'll feel the stretch on the inside edge of the hip. Placing your right hand on the mat, lifting your left fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, moving over towards the left side. So coming onto the left toes, the ball of the left foot, heel of the right. Inhale, lifting up the right hand. Keeping practicing on the going through right to left. Inhale, lifting the left hand as you move over towards the right. Exhale, moving over towards the left. One more time on each side. Inhale, lift up the right arm. Exhale, coming over towards the right foot, right hand in the mat, left hand reaches up. And exhale, release. Turning to face the front of the room, the front of your mat. Dropping the left knee, reaching the arms all the way up. Inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, sink deep. Inhale, sitting yourself out of this pose slightly. And exhale, sink a little bit deeper into the right hip. Reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And keeping your left hand in the air and right hand comes all the way back, twisting over towards the right side. If your right fingertips can reach, place them on the back of the left leg. If not, you can just place them by the side. Inhale, lifting the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. And exhale, folding those hands all the way down to the mat. Taking your right foot on the outside edge of the mat, right hand comes on the inside edge of the right foot. And just pausing here. If this feels comfortable, staying up on your hands, or you can come onto the forearms for a deeper stretch. If this is enough for you, you can just stay on the hands and you can always work your right hand into the inside edge of the right leg just to give it a little bit more of a push out towards the side. Whatever feels good. Taking some nice deep breaths. And then gently tucking the left toes, lifting up the left knee, reaching the right hand all the way up towards the sky. Left hand stays in the mat. And just take a nice deep twist. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the right fingertips down to the mat on the outside edge of the right foot. And then we're going to step that left foot all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bringing the hands all the way towards the sky. Exhale, hands come all the way down behind the back. Interlace the fingertips, lift the chest up. Exhale, forward fold. Holding here. And exhale, bringing the hands all the way down to the mat. This time we're stepping the right foot back. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up, coming into your high lunge. Exhale, folding the hands back down to the mat, framing the left foot. And gently try to straighten that left leg. You can ground the back toes. Inhale, lift the chest forward. Exhale, straightening the left leg, curling the spine. Inhale, chest comes forward. Exhale, straightening the left leg. So you should feel the stretch just behind the backs of the left hamstring. Again, being really gentle with the movements if it's feeling sore. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, straightening the left leg. And then gently bringing the chest forward, taking the left hand on the inside edge of the left foot, turn to face the opposite side of the mat. So you're on the ball of the left toes, heel of the right. Keeping the left fingertips in the mat, reaching the right hand all the way up. And then Skandasaning, so moving over to the opposite side of the mat. Right hand comes in towards the floor, left hand reaches up. And just practicing this on each side. You can go at your own speed. If you feel like you want to give yourself a little bit more of a challenge, you can always take the hands off and just practicing the balance. So making sure you're on the ball of the bent knee and you're on the heel of the foot, which is straight, and you'll have more balance. So repeating one more set, one more on each side. So this stretch is just really good for opening up the hips. Again, it's a key area which is going to be tight from lifting weights, from running, from even sitting at a desk. So by just doing these gentle movements, you're slowly waking up the hips and moving them gently to bring some mobility. When you reach the top of the mat, turn to face the front, holding your low lunge, framing the left foot, dropping the right knee, inhale, lifting the fingertips all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And this time you can place your hands, you can interlace the fingertips and place your hands on towards the left knee. Just giving it a little bit of a pressure. And then gently sitting up. And exhale, sink that little bit further. Inhale, reaching the hands all the way up towards the sky. Right hand stays in the air, left hand comes all the way behind and seeing where it lands. Try to take your twist and gently place the hand on the left leg if you can. Lovely. And then gently bring the hands back to center. Framing the left foot. Tuck the back toes, raising the right knee. Right hand stays in the mat, left hand reaches all the way up. Inhale here. And exhale, release. Walking the left toes all the way out towards the left side of the mat. And then gently placing the right knee onto the floor. Again, feeling where you would like to go in this pose, knowing not to overstretch and find your appropriate edge, what's comfortable. You may even find that you might want to go deeper on one side than the other. That's totally normal. Just notice what feels good in the body. And just taking a few deep breaths here. Gently look forwards. Bringing the left toes in towards the center of the mat. And this time we're going to tuck the back toes and send the hips all the way back. Pointing the left toes up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. And exhale, folding over the left leg. Keeping those toes pointed up towards the ceiling, you'll get a deeper stretch. And then gently walking the hands all the way to the top of the mat. Tucking the back toes and then stepping that right foot to meet the left at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping the left foot back to the back of the mat, dropping the left knee. And then keeping the toes tucked, we're going to sit back onto the heels, shining that right toes all the way towards the sky. Again, a really good hamstring opener. Taking a nice deep breath, inhale. And exhale, walking the hands all the way to the top of the mat. Keeping the hands grounded in the floor, lifting the back knee, and step that right foot all the way back so you're coming into a downward facing dog. And in your downward facing dog, notice now if you're feeling a little bit more open in the backs of the legs, or keeping that bend in the knees to keep the spine straight. It doesn't matter if your heels are touching or if the knees are bent. It's just good to notice the difference in having this downward dog compared to the very first. Taking a few breaths here. Nice deep inhalation through the nose. And exhale out of the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, moving into plank position, holding here. And then gently drop the knees. Drop the chin, elbows pointing back. Inhale, send the belly forward, coming into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, hips come back. And then sitting back onto the heels and just pausing for a moment in your child's pose. Making sure the knees are wide, toes are touching, and placing your forehead just down onto the mat. And relaxing the face, the jaw, everything feels nice and heavy and soft. Taking one more deep breath into the belly. And as you exhale, we're going to move up to our tabletop position. Gently tuck the toes, send the hips all the way up towards the sky. We're going to raise the right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. And then stepping that right foot forwards to the top of the mat. Inhale, lifting the hands all the way up towards the sky. And then exhale, opening out and straightening the legs. Keeping the hands lifted all the way up towards the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Take the left hand center of the mat, reaching the right hand all the way up towards the sky. And exhale, release. Right hand in the middle, left hand reaches up. And left hand releases, lifting up all the way up towards the sky. Gently bring the hands on the hips, heel toe the feet in slightly. Turn the right toes out towards facing the front of the room, lifting the arms, send the hips back. And exhale, fold. Coming into your triangle position. So your right hand might be on your shin, it might be on your foot, just wherever feels comfortable. And gently release. Left hand comes on left hip, reaching up. Opposite side, left toes point out. Taking the hands out wide, reaching forward, and exhale, fold onto the opposite side. So again, a really good stretch for runners. Targeting all the areas. And it should help you feel a lot better for your next training session, having loosened up all of these areas in the body. And gently come up to standing, turning the toes in, lifting the arms up, right foot reaches, send the right foot forward, and exhale, fold all the way down to the mat. Gently drop the left knee onto the mat, walking the right toes all the way over towards the left side of the mat, and coming up into your pigeon pose. So in this position, making sure your hips are nice and square. Back leg is nice and long. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, folding over that right thigh. So if your right foot is feeling like it wants to move in towards the hips, that's fine, just as long as you're keeping the back leg nice and straight and you're twisting over towards the side of the body. And that will just mean that your spine is nice and aligned and long, and you're not putting too much pressure on the knee. So it's really important you keep the hips nice and square and you're not falling over and sinking onto the mat. And we're just going to pause here for a few breaths. And taking your final 2 breaths, so inhaling into the belly. Exhale, release. Inhale. And exhale, release. And we're going to come up onto the forearms. Keep the head nice and heavy. Coming up onto the hands. Gently lifting the chest, look up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, sweeping the left foot all the way in front of you. Tucking the right foot on the inside edge of the left thigh, reaching the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. And we're going to fold over the left leg, either taking hold of the shin or reaching for your left toes. Lifting the chest, making sure you're not rounding in the back. And if you want to go deeper, then just hinging from the hips and moving the chest forward. And gently release. Taking the left foot in into the body, so you're coming into sort of seated position. And then we're just going to send the right toes all the way to the back of the mat. So making sure you're nice and comfortable here in your position. So left thigh is nice and square, hips are square, and your knee on your shin is either in one line or your left toes are tucked in towards the hip in more of a diagonal line. Keeping the right leg nice and straight and folding over. Taking some nice deep breaths into the body. And taking a nice deep breath and lifting up the chest, taking the forearms onto the mat to keep the chin tucked in. Gently bring the fingertips, the hands, and lifting up the chest. Lifting up the head on the inhale. And exhale, sweeping the right foot this time all the way to the top of the mat. Left leg, left foot tucks in towards the right thigh. Lifting up the hands. And then folding over the right leg. Again, keep the chest nice and lifted. And hinge from the hips rather than rounding through the back. This will protect the spine. You can drop the chin to chest if that feels comfortable. Just making sure you're getting enough stretch, enough pressure to feel the benefit of the stretch. And gently release. We're going to come onto our back, so take the feet onto the mat there in front of you. And lowering the spine all the way down. Keeping the knees lifted up towards the sky. And we're going to lift the hips, lift the hands, and bring the hands behind you if you've got room. Or you can take the hands and interlace the fingertips and walk the shoulders underneath the body. And slowly release, let the hips come down to the mat, hugging the knees in towards the chest. And gently dropping the knees over towards the right side. Taking the left fingertips out towards the left side of the room and send the gaze in the opposite direction of the knees. And just coming into an easy twist. And taking them over to the opposite side. So knees come over to the left. Right hand reaches out. And send the gaze over to the right side of the room. Bringing the knees back in towards the center. Take the knees into the chest and give yourself a really big squeeze. And gently release everything to the mat. Coming into your final pose, your resting pose. And just allow the body just to soak up and register all of those deep stretches that we've done this evening. And just enjoying this moment of stillness before enjoying the rest of your evening. Notice the breath. And relaxing the face. Feeling the shoulders, the hips, the legs, the arms, the feet. Just feeling really heavy. And then slowly start to wiggle the fingertips. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly. And if you want to stay here longer, feel free to do so. Or you can come into your side position. So bringing the knees over towards whichever side feels comfortable. Placing the hands underneath your face, your head. Just pausing here for a moment. And maybe taking a moment just to think back to the intention that you set at the beginning. Maybe final thoughts before entering a new week. What type of energy do you want to bring into the week ahead? And what would you like to leave behind? And slowly you can keep the eyes closed if you wish. Bringing yourself up to seated. I'm just going to close down the eyes, taking the hands, placing the hands, palms down onto the knees. On the inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears. And on the exhale, roll them back into their socket. Take the chin towards the chest and just rolling the neck over towards the left and over towards the right. Gently bring the hands to heart center. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your Sunday evening stretch. And well done. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire. That was lovely. I feel very zen. Does anyone else feel like they're going to fall asleep now? Thank you so much for joining, guys. I hope you enjoyed this evening's session. Claire will be back again next month on the last Sunday of the month to do yoga again. But we've also got a couple of exciting different things going on for Stretch and Reset next month. Details of those will be in the group chat tomorrow morning. Well done for absolutely smashing this week. And if you've got any questions about anything in True Coach for the next week, just let me know. You know where I am. And a recording of this session will be uploaded into the app later this evening as well. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, guys. And thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.